Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's the Netflix movie Kate, starring Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I put up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages, like this YouTube channel, my Facebook page. And for those of you who still have Facebook, a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right. Yes, I know this isn't genre. And no, it's not Katie Sackhoff. It's Kate is the name of the movie. And thank you, Movie Finobi. You didn't need to do that. The $4.99 super chat. That's nice of you. Yes, I know this isn't genre. I decided, it was a slow week on stuff that was on. So this happened to be on Netflix. It's a quick movie. It's 2 hours. And it's got Mary Elizabeth Winstead, like I said in there. Also, Woody Harrelson's in it as well. So there you go. And it's about assassins and poisoning. So for those of you who don't know, this is going to be the non-spoiler version of the review, if you will. For those of you who haven't seen it, essentially it's John Wick meets DOA. If you ever saw the old Emmett O'Brien movie, DOA, which was also done by Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan in the 80s as well. It was remade then. And pretty much everyone's taken a stab at that fucking movie at one point in time or another. So Mary Elizabeth Winstead is an assassin who gets poisoned. She has a couple hours left to live, and she's going to find out who the fuck poisoned her, killed her, and take her revenge. That's what the whole plot of the movie is. There you go. When the trailer released for this, I want to say about 2 months ago, I actually called who the villain was out just from the trailer alone, and I was right. So if you go back and take a look, is it for Saturday Morning Blast Off? I actually brought that up there, and I was dead on. I mean, so yeah, that was again. It's not the plot of the movie that you're going in for. You're going in for the action, and there is a shit ton of action in this movie. I even dared say that some of the action scenes are better than some of the stuff we've seen in John Wick. Yeah, I've gone out on that limb. It is actually really well done, action sequence wise. It's pretty. It's actually cut well. Um, it's worth your time. It's if you're into action movies. And by the way, I'm just going to tell you right now, there is some brutal, visceral action in this movie. So be prepared for that. If you're not, then if it's not your bag, there's other stuff for you out there. There's plenty of shit on Netflix too. So, and there's plenty of shit on Netflix, like I said. So, with that said, and the non-spoiler version out of the way, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the movie. If you have not seen the movie, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Okay. Do we have your attention now? Yes. Spoilers? Yes. Okay. Holy shit, that one scene where she is just stabbing the guy, like stabbing the guy while another guy is grabbing her from the throat and trying to pull her back. And I was like, holy fuck. Yeah, the action sequences in this are brutal and oh man. I mean, especially early on, when she's first looking, to see who her killer is and all this stuff, and she is just going through the Yakuza. She's going through Tokyo, in the Yakuza, and trying to find the head of this crime family that she's been wiping out anyway as part of her job. And yes, Woody Harrelson is her mentor. And yes, we know he is the one who poisoned her. I mean, you could tell flat out from the fucking trailer that that was what it was. And sure enough, he really didn't poison her. It's Varric is the name of the character that Woody Harrelson is playing. Wanted to get in bed with the Yakuza, wanted to become part of the Yakuza. So he's working with the second in command of the Yakuza guy who basically wanted to become head Yakuza, if you will, of this family, of this clan. And he was the one that murdered Kate. He was the one that poisoned her with polonium 204, which was kind of stupid. So polonium 204 only has a 3.5 hour half life. So if you're using radiation, if you will, 3.5 hour half life means that your efficacy of the radiation is cut in half every 3.5 hours until it reaches a null state or a stable state. In this case, lead is what the stable state is of polonium. Um, you could have used polonium 210, which has been a favorite of Russian spies being killed off in real life over the decades, and still gotten away with it. Quite honestly, it just needs a big enough dose. Um, Using polonium 204, you would have to manufacture that shit and ship it out and know where that person is within like an hour or so of it happening. So yeah, it's pretty rare. That's the only gripe I have about this whole thing. Um, Renzo, yes, thank you, Marks. Renzo was the name. Renzi was the name of the guy who killed her. Renji. Thank you, Renji. I've got my IMDb up there right now. Renji is his name. Renji was his name. Oh, yes. Um, Yeah, so really good stuff. I liked some of the scenes. Actually, one of the things that I really liked was when she's fighting in the Black Lizard, is what the name of the club is, and she gets flipped onto a table by one of the guys, and the entire camera follows her movement. So you get this circular, and so it's back, so you can see the action, but you get the circular movement happening, and then her crashing into the table, and the camera is upside down at that point. And I was like, that's actually I've never seen that before in a movie, and it works. I mean, it was kind of stomach churning, and you felt like you were in the fight. And you always have these directors who say, "Oh, by putting a shaky cam in there, that's me saying that you're involved in the fight." No, not really. But doing that where the camera just turns, and I mean, it's completely on a gimbal and just does a complete, 360, or no, actually it does a 180. I take that back. It does a 180. That was actually kind of cool. And there's stuff like that throughout the movie. You get these little tiny touches of a director who is experimenting with some of the stuff, and sometimes that can go bad, but this one actually goes pretty well. The ending was kind of yeah, whatever. Annie, the little girl who, or not the little girl, the teenage girl who Kate, of course, didn't kill. She killed her father, but she was kind of annoying at first, but then she kind of grows on you, which I believe that's supposed to be the whole thing of that. And Varric is just a creeper. Woody Harrelson's character, he basically goes in and kills entire families and then takes their daughters and turns them into assassins. Obviously, that's because that's what he did with Kate, and that's what he was going to do with Annie. Yeah. Oh yeah, the ending was super telegraphed. This whole movie was telegraphed, Morks, except for the action sequences. This was all. If anything, I would say this is a sizzle reel for this director to use on his next project, for something that is going to be uh, have a better plot, shall we say? I mean, and again, like I said, it's not the plot that you're going into this movie for; it's the action sequences. It really is. The director is, let me see here. I've got it up here. Cedric Nicholas Troyan is his name. Nicholas Troyan with a hyphen is what that is. And he has done The Huntsman, Snow White and the Huntsman, of course, and then the sequel to it, The Huntsman Winter's War or something like that. So he's the director on that one. Actually, he was the visual effects person on Snow White and the Huntsman. I take that back. And then the director for the sequel of that. Yeah, so this is really kind of like his second movie, if you really will. And the next movie he's doing is called EXO. EXO. Celebro 469 says she should not have died in the end. An awesome sequel would have been something like the training of Leon and Matilda. I don't know, man. I kind of like the one and done. Sequels are really overrated, to tell you the truth. And yes, even though the character was pretty badass, John Wick, I'm going to say this right now. John Wick 3 wasn't great. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. And hopefully they are going to mend that in John Wick 4. So, Mork says when Kate steals the car with the lights and the sound, that city chase was video game. Yeah, it was a complete video game sequence. I did like though when she's like hitting the radio. Shut up, shut up. She's trying to get the radio to shut off as she's driving, and it's also fucking with her equilibrium because, she, of course, is sick. Nobody was better than John Wick 3. Well, that's pretty easy to do. I mean, John Wick 3 was okay. It wasn't great. And again, that's because the writer for it, Derek Kolstad, who actually created the character and created the world and all that stuff, he was only co-writer on John Wick 3. He actually was working on something else at the same time. So he was having some his time was split and was not focused on John Wick. Otherwise, it would have been a much better movie. Applegrove says John Wick 3 was fun until Halle Berry forced her way in and when the story just went nuts. The story was always nuts to begin with. I mean, when Angelica Houston came in and you had that whole backstory of, the ballet and the wrestling and the Russians, that's when that fucking shit went nuts. And you're just like, what the fuck was all this about? You know? That's when it went nuts. But yeah, this just actually, starts off nuts from the beginning and just kind of goes from there. But yes, it is worth your time. Go ahead, take a look at it, especially if you're into action movies and you just want something to that you don't really have to overthink, quite honestly. If you just want something on, and that's the reason why I put it on. I just wanted something I didn't have to overthink, and I popped it in, and it was a good movie. It was fun. So, um, Ava in Netflix is similar to Kate. I want to say I've seen that, but maybe I haven't. There's so many of these movies out there. I mean, there's Anna, I believe is what it is, which is similar to Red Sparrow, and you know, get all those movies out there. So, all right, this is gonna be a short one tonight because there is a lot of shit at work today, and I'm fucking tired. So I'm gonna let you guys go a little earlier tonight than usual. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you want to know when I'll be on next, you can actually hit that bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there, and I change it out every week. Speaking of which, what's coming up on the schedule is tomorrow is What If. That's right, Marvel's What If is going to happen tomorrow. Thursday and Friday, I'm going to be off. Saturday is Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the weekend and genre stuff you guys want to talk about when we talk about it. Sunday is going to be spoiler alert at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time because 1 p.m. was just fucking with my vibe. So that's what's going to happen there. And that's where we just talk about anything that's been out and about in the public and we can spoil it away. Monday will be Why the Last Man. And then, of course, we come back around to Tuesday with another episode of Is It Worth My Time? I don't know what I'm doing as of yet. We'll find out something this week. Philip says, so nothing really new about Kate? No, nothing really new about Kate. Yeah, it's all the same stuff. Thanks, everybody. I will see you guys again tomorrow for Marvel's What If. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up getting poisoned by polonium 204 because someone really, really has it in for you and has a chemist and a radiologist sitting on site actually making this shit because they know where you're going to be at that time and they know they can sneak it into your drink. Yeah. Anyway, thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots. Stay safe out there and have a good night. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.